Deception wears many coats, but none more cunningly tailored than the one stitched with silence, charm, and just the right amount of distance. Ah, yes. 7 signs an avoidant is a narcissist in disguise. That's what we're here for. Let's unravel the riddle, shall we? You see, I've met many people in my years. Kings and paupers, lovers and liars. And let me tell you, not all villains raise their voice. Some simply vanish, quietly, elegantly, leaving you wondering whether they were ever really there at all. Now, don't let the term avoidant lull you into sympathy too quickly. They often appear wounded, sensitive to emotional closeness, an innocent product of past scars. But sometimes, lurking behind that emotional fog is a narcissist, a wolf in hand-woven self-help wool. Let's begin with sign number 1, the illusion of intimacy. Oh, how they draw you in. Like a magician seducing you with a silk handkerchief, all charm and poise. These individuals can imitate connection, mimic vulnerability. Like parrots trained on therapy speak, they'll confess, just enough. Share, just a sliver. But when you lean in, they pull back. Every time. And just when you're about to walk away, voila, they step forward. Not too far, mind you. Just enough to keep you hoping. That's not fear of intimacy. That's control. It's a narcissist's version of romance. Breadcrumbs soaked in dopamine and doubt. Sign number 2, their emotions are always more important. I remember once dining with a chap. Let's call him Charles. We'd all just heard that our mutual friend had lost her father. But Charles, in his perfectly crisp shirt and carefully tousled hair, leaned back and sighed. That reminds me of the time I was overlooked for that Oxford fellowship. He was devastated, you see. His pain eclipsed all others. Classic. An avoidant might flinch at emotions, but a narcissist redirects the spotlight. Always. Sign number 3. They disappear when you're most human. Tears, vulnerability, messy truth. That's your cue to be abandoned. I need space, they say. I can't handle emotional pressure. But watch closely. It's not just overwhelm. It's disdain, discomfort, irritation masked as aloofness. Because your pain doesn't serve them. They don't see a person needing comfort. They see a broken mirror reflecting their own inadequacy. And what do narcissists do with broken mirrors? They discard them. Sign number 4, the Hoover move. Ah yes, the grand return. Right when you've patched your heart, begun to dance again. Maybe even met someone with eyes that actually listen. Pop! There they are. Thinking of you, they whisper. Miss our conversations. It's not affection. It's narcissistic supply. You're the old battery they're hoping still has a charge. And if you answer, back into the cycle you go. Idealization, devaluation, discard. Repeat. Sign number 5, compassion, but with a price tag. Now, here's the rub. A narcissist can fake empathy. Cold empathy, we call it. The crocodile tears, the dramatic I care, the oh so deep, I just want what's best for you. But there's always a transaction beneath the sentiment, like a gift with a receipt. Help from them is like borrowing money from the mob. It will be collected. If they comfort you, expect a favor in return. Maybe not now, but soon, and for the rest of your emotional life. Sign number 6, the silent guilt trip. They won't yell. They don't need to. Their silence is the punishment. Their absence is the blade. They withdraw and watch, like a cat watching a mouse flail in a glass jar. And the more you chase them, the more control they gain. An avoidant may flee, but a narcissist flees and makes you believe you were the one who pushed them. And finally, sign number 7, the uncanny valley. Now this This is the spine chiller. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt they were performing humanity rather than living it? Like a waxwork that flinches just slightly out of sync? That is the uncanny valley. It's not their looks, it's their soul, or lack thereof. You feel like you're dating a script. They say the right things, do the right gestures, but something's off. Hollow. It's not your imagination. That's the cold empathy again. They study emotion, not to feel it, but to use it. Let me tell you a story. There was once a woman, let's call her Eliza, who fell madly in love with a gentle, mysterious man. He was kind, intelligent, emotionally deep, or so it seemed. For 6 months he was attentive, present. Then, after she confided in him about a trauma, he ghosted her. No message, no closure, just silence. 3 months later, he returns with a poem. A poem, mind you, apologizing for being too damaged to love her. "You were the light," he wrote, "but I was born for shadow." Bloody Shakespeare. Eliza forgave him, took him back. He ghosted her again. 3 weeks later. This is not fear. This is theater. Narcissists are not frightened children. They are expert illusionists. They paint themselves as wounded romantics, so you'll ignore the wreckage in their wake. So what do we do then? Simple. We remember, real connection does not confuse. It does not vanish. It does not punish your vulnerability. Look for the one who shows up when you cry, who listens without fixing, who loves without leverage. And if you find yourself in the arms of someone whose affection feels conditional, whose presence feels like a game of hide and seek, whose empathy arrives only when convenient, you might not be loving a broken person. You might be loving a narcissist in disguise. Walk away, not with anger, but with wisdom. And then, smile, because now you see them clearly.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need. If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.